Hi, and welcome to the 6 game development stream. Um, Sorry I'm on a bit late. I kind of got up late, and when I got up, I also had to move around a bunch of stuff to be able to stream. I was cleaning my room out yesterday and sorting out, like, literally cleaning the window so I could put this soundproofing cork on it, and that took a while. So, but done that. Here now. So yeah. Actually, before I start this project, I'm gonna try and finish off that drop pod. I reckon. I'm gonna be right back. Okay, so this is where we got to last time. And the thing is, we need to basically get this drop pod vertex painted, so we can export the vertex paint, and then from there we can send it into from there we can send it inside of into Substance Painter and give it like a nice color. And the only thing is, I want to see if there's just a way to set vertex color rather than paint it.
Hey, what's up?
Let me just mute the desktop. Not exactly what I want. Vertex color on a face. That's kind of what I just want to do, is like a face rather than... You know what? If I go into vertex paint... Ah! Hold shift. We go where? Hey, okay, there we go. Alright, I figured it out. As in, I've watched a tutorial on it, but still. Right, yeah, okay, that's a lot more complicated than it ever was in 3DS Max. But that should be good now. So now I know how to do that. Can go there, paint, set vertex color. And what that lets us do is rather than having it all, because this was like weight painting it, I didn't want to do that. I just wanted to set these. Can I still go around by like edges? Oh, I can. Nice. Get all these. Oop. Nope. There we go. And go paints. Let's set a different color. Let's go red for this. Paint and set vertex colors. Same for this. Depending on what you're doing, I suppose like painting the vertex will probably be better. Like actually painting it rather than this. But I want it to just be like 100% more accurate, so... The problem with painting it is that because this is so low poly, it's really hard to get it to go exactly where I want, especially on an edge. Problem is, it does take a little bit of time to go around and select everything. Go there. Paint. Set vertex colors. There you go. Don't know why I needed like a half blend that time. Alright, whatever. That's the rest of the drop pod's all good. That's the kind of colour I want now. Lee. Then we go to paint mode. If it will let me. Nope. Is it because that's a child? I think it might be because it's a child. I might need to unlink it first. Just because I can't seem to edit it otherwise. Vertex paint. Set that to like yellow. Yeah, I can't seem to. Okay, I'll unparent that. Where the hell's that gone? It said unlinked, did I press delete? Okay, so apparently unlinked just deletes it. Control P. Nope. So I'll go vertex paint now. Why can't I vertex paint it? It's not even... Oh, it is still parented. Delete hierarchy? Nope. Unlink just gets rid of it. Actually just straight up gets rid of it. Do I have to unlink from the parent? Nope, because... Why is it called unlink if it just gets rid of it? It might be because there's a material on it. Is it material? So what's the material like on this one then? So we go layout now and go to vertex paint. Yep, nope, still don't work. Is it attributes? Nope. I mean, this one's got it and I could set it. I can't delete that either. I can. Doesn't work. Actually doesn't work. Why can't I do it? Why is vertex painting a lot more complicated on this than it is in 3ds Max? Also, sorry if you can hear someone mowing their lawn outside. It's literally 9 AM and they are mowing a lawn. Vertex colors can be placed on vertex mode. However, it not show up in rent. It's not even showing up in the paint. That just doesn't work on anything. We're going to vertex paint there. That's all done. Why can't I... What's different about this one? Active color index. Wait, it's fine for this. Oh, it's weight paint, that's why. That's texture paint. Vertex paint doesn't work. I'm so confused. Reset to default value. Let's try that. Okay, that works. But the actual paintbrush doesn't. Okay, whatever. I don't know why, but screw it. I could do what I want to do with it, so. Okay, that's good. Vertex paint. Means I could with that one at least. Why can't I with the other one? I've got a modifier on this. Nope. See, at least this one gave me the option to pick that. Oh, right, it's because I'm not in that mode. That one could be pink. So vertex paint, paint. Good, finally there, done. I'm not entirely sure why it wasn't letting me do what I wanted to with it, but whatever. I think for press. I know there's a way you can just focus on it. I just can't remember the command. So I'm just going to hide these. We'll get all of this. And set that. So like turquoise. There we go. Now, how do I export vertex colors? It's the main thing I gotta do now is export the vertex colors. I think it should just be a case of I'm gonna save this first. File save, and then export FBX. And there should be a map thing. Transform, yep. Geometry. Yep. Armature. Animation to bake. Include. Just want mesh. Vertex colors sRGB. I'm hoping it's just that. Blender export vertex colors. Da, 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 da. So then we do that, export. So I should be able to open up that the file in Substance Painter, which I didn't actually save because I didn't do anything with it really. I should be able to open up Substance Painter. Okay, so that's that. Physical size, color management. Okay. So we got that. God, it's bright in my room. I've currently got like no curtains on my window. That's not fun. Because I had to leave this caulking to dry over the weekends. Over the night. I always forget how to move. Shift click, control click, space click, alt click, alt click. Alt click is how he moves. Okay, that's how you do it. So we need to go. Texture set settings. Nope. Layers. Already forgot how to bake maps. Fuck. Oh, it's so many softwares to remember, man. Bake mesh maps. Okay, let's bake these. Hasn't done the vertex colors at all. Why has it not done the vertex colors at all? So can I just export them from here? If I go to like texture paint. Not sure what types of vertex colors we've used in 3D Preview would be an example. Try creating an attribute in the face corner domain byte color type data. Eh? What? The hell? The hell is even that? Data? Vertex groups? Color attributes. Yeah, it's got one. So I want to convert that to. So if we go vertex paint, yeah, it's still there. I forgot to convert to face corner rather than instead of vertex. Just got to do that for all these, I guess. Okay, let's try that. Save, export. It's an FBX. Let's try that. I think I need to select all. Visible objects, bake. Cool, let's try it. Re-import mesh. Bake selected textures. Still nothing. I'm just gonna look up blenders to Substance Painter. Okay, gotta watch another tutorial. Okay. That's why. Vertex color. Okay, try that. Hey, there we go. So yeah, I was actually exporting it. I just did it wrong in Substance. Cool. That explains a lot. Now we can go back into paint mode. Still not. So what that allows us to do now is we can basically set it depending on where. We can set it to specific colours. Let's get a metal first. We still got something out of iron lung. Too shiny. Too painted. That's more like it. Let's go for that. And we can basically add a mask with color selection. And the colors we can pick, we can put on that. And now it's only on that. And then we can have let's go for a nice steel ruin. Let's see what that looks like. And what does that look like if I only put it on? And master color selection. Pick color red. Not a fan of that. What that? Nah, that. Let's go with that. Steel dark, what's that one look like? Nah, too black. Steel armor? There we go, I like that one. Silver armor. So we can add a mask with color selection, and I only want that on this little bit down here. I think this is a bit too bright, so we're going to go into this. Just find that. Darken that a bit. I always forget how to move. I reckon that would be a good thing for the booster up here. Look, this bit here, I reckon that looks decent for that, but a few things I want to change of it. So we're going to add a mask with color selection, and we're going to pick purple, so it's only on that. We're also going to pick that as well. So it's on both that and that. I want to change a little bit of this. So there's a lot of dust at the moment. I think that's a painted mask. Good mask editor. Any of these settings affect it at all? Kind of. Okay. I'm not entirely sure how it's adding what it's choosing to add to this. Because literally nothing I changed does anything to it. That actually just doesn't change. Maybe it's because it's the dust one I need to change, not the dirt. Or is that supposed to be rust? Is that the rust? Oh, it's the rust. So we reload all these AO maps. Put that to about there. Back to about there, I'd say that looks good. We just want to change the colour of the base map. Sort of more like silvery, I'd say. Let's go with that. I think that looks good. There we go. And for this, what's hold damage look like? I don't know. It doesn't. This one doesn't work. Okay. Some old iron on these. Nah. Steel. Dark steel. Yeah, go dark steel. Is there a different kind that looks a little bit better? No. What about this silver aluminium? No. That? No. Iron Forge? I kind of like that one. So we can vertex paint, add set a mask with color selection, and we're gonna pick this. And last thing is kind of glass, but there's not really anything for glass, I don't think. There's glass visor, that'll work. And we're just gonna set that. And there we go. It's a drop pod. Now I can spend a lot more time making this material look a lot better and a lot more cohesive. But as a quick and dirty thing, that's great. But for my game, that's not really matching the art style. So I'm going to save this, and I'm going to make one that's more in my game's art style. Alright, so we're going to make a more stylized one for my one. And this was going to... I'm going to make this appear somewhere in the background. Also, I'm going to get rid of... Later on, I'm going to turn off one of these maps that's doing this awful line. Should do that now. I think it's the... This one? No. See, AO. I'm going to get rid of the ambient occlusion map. So I have a material on this somewhere, smart material, called I think a painted, stylized, painted, and this is kind of like the base of a lot of my materials. This is kind of the art style I want to go for, like a nice painted look. I've also got another stylized material that I followed a tutorial for, which is, I think, this one? This one. I think it's this one. It's kind of got like a little bit of texture to it. But I quite like this painted one. I just got to change the colour of it, basically. See, it gives everything like these nice little paint strokes. So if we set this to like a red. And we could set this to slightly lighter red. then that looks quite nice. I made this smart material a while back. Now, the one thing I know with my game and how I render stuff is for metal, I can't use a metal map. I have to use a specular map as a metal map for reflectiveness. So anything that I want to be reflective, I need like this to be its own thing in the specular map. So yeah, we got that. I'm just gonna duplicate this. Set this one. Select the color selection. Only want that on there. So now if I hide that, so I need that part. And then go to set this. So vertex color with paint. And you want this on this bit. I'll tell you what, for the sake of time, this is both going to be grey. Also this. And now we can just simply go into here. Change this to like a grey. Change this to like a lighter, maybe a bit of a bluey grey. And in stroke 1, we're just going to set that to nice dark. Stroke 2, can leave that as is. Stroke 3. Yeah, I think that looks better. That looks a lot nicer. Maybe a bit darker on the base colour. It's a bit bright. Ooh, I like that. Just a bit darker here as well. And yeah, I think that looks good. Oh, also want to have it down there. So we can get a very nice, if I pick that colour. Color selection. Okay, and then we just want one more for the window. So just gonna duplicate this again. For the color selection, remove that, pick color that. This one is gonna be like a blue. Nice light blue there. And then this dark blue, maybe a bit closer so it's not as, yeah, there we go. Stroke 1, we can go for something like that. For stroke 2, we can go something a bit dark. Yeah, about there, I'd say. Stroke 3. That kind of blends it nicely together. Yeah, something like that. Look at that. That's quite nice. So yeah, that's kind of it. We could just do it like that. I want to add a little bit of detail here and there. So to do that, we can do like scratches per se. Let's go for some scratches. We want these to appear at the bottom, I think. No, because if we do that, they won't. Metal edge where. Turn that down a little. A little bit of weight on the curves. It just looks like someone's had a fun time with it. Not a fan of that. Get rid of that. So you could do something like that. So it's just the exact same thing I had on. So you could paint peel. I think we can set this so it can go under to a different material underneath. So we can pick color mass color selection. That one. Just have it on those. Actually on these as well. Yeah. Yeah, if we set it to roughness, it won't. Only change the color. Technical parameters? You can do that and give it some like little bit of detail of like paint peeling. So if I add like a new color map underneath, is there a way I can tell it to not count one map or something? That's what I want to know. So if I go, if I add in like a new, if I duplicate this inside of this, I mean, that does exactly what I want it to. But will it if I turn off this color selection? Nope, just want to get rid of that mask. No, I want it. I want to change it so it can change the color of what's going in there. Maybe it's in channels. It's got a rust color, but it's better than any rust there. Is there a way I can make you exclude a certain... What if I just add in... No, because even having like one of these duplicated and then just removing the mask. Hmm. Oh, what if I just put it underneath? Oh yeah, it's literally just a case of put it underneath. Looks good. The only thing is, again, I kind of want it to be kind of bare metal underneath. I think if I was to get... If I get this, duplicate this, delete the mask, copy disk, delete the mask, copy this. I think I can copy just this mask onto here. I'm getting myself confused here. Copy this. Down here. Group layers. I want to get this. Copy this effect onto here. Clear mask. Remove mask even. Okay. I mean, that's kind of doing the opposite of what I want it to do. I've inverted that somehow. Okay, tell you what, get rid of that. Go back here. We're gonna get the peel again. I'm gonna duplicate this. I'm gonna get rid of this mask. Like this. Control C. Control V. Can get rid of this one now. Why does it do the opposite of what I want? Can I invert this? Yeah, it literally is doing the opposite of what I want it to do. Oh, you know what? Screw it. Wait, but if that's doing... Oh, I've got an idea now. If that's doing the opposite, then what I want to do is go down here, put this underneath, and give this the filter. So peeling. Give this the filter peeling. There we kind of go. It's still not really doing what I wanted to. Because I haven't... Because this has still got the mask on, that's why. Okay. Remove mask. There we go. Finally. Okay, figured that out. Oh, it took forever. God. So now we can give this... So that... Big distance. Click this a few times. Get something nice. I want the massive distance on the curves. Trying to avoid it being right on the seam so it doesn't look awful. And for this metal, we're going to go slightly lighter so we can differentiate it from the top. There we go. I like that. Yeah, it's a bit too intense, that peeling. Yeah, something like that. It's a random seed. I like that. I think that looks good. Some alphas. Which I think is just a case of... Nope. Yeah, you can just put like a decal on it. We can make our own of these, but... What should we whack on? colour's a bit too. Get some scratches maybe. Put some bolts on. Get like boom, doom, 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 doom. Nah. Won't do that. I don't need that. Too much detail for something like this. Whoa, okay. Does that stop? It's just going. Oh, we could put that at the bottom. Stop. About there. Okay, I like that. That's a cool effect. I like that. Maybe it's better on this one. Yeah, it's a cracked windshield. Cracked windshield. Got broken glass. What's that one like? How far do you have a crack? Okay, I prefer this one. Boom. And boom. Need to lower my brush a bit. Boom. A boom. A big chuck. That being said, I did really like this fracture effect. On the bottom. Where's my mouse gone? I think that's good. Right, that's kind of it really done, to be honest. I'm pretty sure this doesn't affect... Yes, the base colour is what affects like the shininess and stuff, so... But we can get this into Unreal and kind of see what it looks like. There's one, because we've got to remember, I've got a shader as well. I've just realised on this, my right monitor, this looks very dark red. Over here, it's very saturated. I don't know if that's like... I'm looking at my left monitor, it looks really bright red. I don't know which one's colour accurate, so... I think the left one might be, but I think it looks good on both. But yeah, I need to get a more colour accurate monitor at one point for this kind of stuff. Probably be what I'll replace my right monitor with, because I don't really use that for gaming or anything. This is that my right monitor is just like my content monitor. So yeah, we should be able to, if I'm gonna quickly pause it. Just get export the mesh. No, export textures. PBR metallic roughness. We want to go for the Unreal Engine 4. I think it's just Unreal Engine normal one. We're gonna go for a PNG. I think a TIFF might be better, but I'm just gonna go PNG for now. Let's try this. Export. I can export it with a mesh as well. File, export. Do have an USD asset. Let's see what that's like. Right. I'm just going to open up my Unreal project. Give me a minute. Oh, my coffee's gone cold. I'm going to leave that open in the background just in case we need it. Oh, one thing I haven't thought about is the scale of this. It's probably going to be massive. So, gonna drop in this and see what happens. I'm just gonna make a. We need a new folder for props, so I'm gonna make a new folder called environment. And we're gonna whack everything in a folder. I'm gonna put this in a folder called other. New folder. This is going to be called other. Nope. Nah, this is going to be called objects. Because that's what it is. It's kind of an object. So I think I should be able to put that in like that. In USD, isn't that literally? Oh, it's a Unity one, isn't it? Isn't USD literally? I thought USD was literally an Unreal format. Guess not. Well, I got these maps anyway. I changed how I. Give me a minute. I've exported it weirdly. Substance painter to Unreal. Export.
Things we have to be aware of.
Ah, I was on the wrong. No, I was on the right one. Yes, I got to import the material model separately by the looks of it. That's fine, so I can go GameDev. Projects, I think I just exported it into the Blender one. MISC. Yeah, I did. Yep. And we want to do combine meshes wherever that is. There it is. Import. No smoothing groups. Should be fine. Bam, it's bright as hell because of the default materials. It's because the specular, if I just get a 1, it's because that, I think. Yeah, there we go. It's a little less bright. It's not godly. Except that one part. For some reason. Why is that a separate material? Whatever. Bam. Sure, screw it, why not? Unreal just loves being weird. So now we want to get... Oh. Just move the stream a bit on OBS. So the way Substance Painter does materials, if you output it, it actually combines the maps, which is pretty cool. The only problem is you got to remember which one's which. So this is the base color. That's simple. It just goes in there. And already, it looks a hell of a lot better. Except for the fact that that's... Oh no, that is grey. And then we want the normal map to go to there. And that should give us those cracks. Yep. Turn that off. Red is ambient occlusion, blue is roughness, and green is metallic. So we don't need this one. I don't know why it gave me 2 maps. It shouldn't have. I think it's giving me a map for the top part separate for some reason. Totally not following a tutorial on the other monitor. So blue is metallic, green is roughness. Don't want that one. There we go. Apply save. And yeah, I think it looks pretty good. So we got that nice kind of shadow effect going on it. Now, in order to make this reflective, which, I mean, to be fair, at the moment, it's kind of actually fine as is, I'd say. I'm pretty happy with that. If that came like, meow. I think that looked pretty cool in the background. But in order to make that kind of reflective, we'd want to... It's actually like in the game, like to walk around it. Bruh. It's pretty big. And yeah, it's kind of the art style I'm going for. But yeah, in order to actually walk, like, in order to have this be reflective, I think I've got something that is already in like test assets. No, I don't. But see in here, I've kind of done this specular value set to 0. But for this to be reflective, specular value needs to be a bit above. Because that's what we're kind of using for reflectiveness. So if I got this material, so go environment, objects. We just get the drop pod material. And we get specular. Let's just point to like 0.1. So it's ever so slightly reflective. You see, even that's like way too much. So if we go 0.01, ever so slightly, should be able to get a little bit of reflective shine off it now. 0.8. There is like the best way to do it is like a map, but I can't remember the map off the top of my head. But for now, I think that looks pretty nice. That's the drop pod done. Yeah. Finally done it. Again, thanks to, I think it's Snoozy Snipes for the suggestion. I'll probably actually have this in the gonna keep this in the game somewhere. It's inspired off the Awesome Noughts one, but it is original enough, I'd say. So yeah, I'm gonna have this like somewhere floating in the game, just like in the background, I reckon. I think that'd be quite nice, like a nice little detail in the map. So for now, it's just gonna... I wish I'd put it... Also, I'd actually say the size for a drop pod, just off default, considering I didn't do like any scaling and I didn't have any form of reference for the size, I'd say it's actually pretty good. And again, I think the shader for this works really well for these kind of assets, because it kind of helps emphasize the cartoony look of it. If I go to like where the shader is, is it VFX? Where'd I put the shader? Materials? There we go, shaders. If I was to say turn this off, or if I just disconnect that, would that turn it off? Nope, that just gets rid of the light. I think it's in post-processing. Yeah, I think it's part of the post-process volume. Yeah, so if I just was to delete this. So this is what it looks like by default. And that's what it looks like with it. We can just do this actually. Yeah, on, off. So by default, it's kind of very flat. The lighting's realistic and it just makes it look a bit odd. It still works decent. But with this more stylized lighting, I think it works a lot better. It makes it look a lot more visually interesting. Especially if it's at like a decent angle like that. Let's just compare turning it off. Like it's coloured and it's shaded very nicely, but it's just flat. Whereas putting it on, you've got like a nice little bit of shadow going along here now. Where before it was all pretty much smooth. Because of how smooth the default shadows are, it's not really good for it's not really good for like small, low poly things like this, because it will just be like, that's the shaded side, that's the non-shaded side. Having this on, slight shade, darker shade, very dark shade. I think it looks quite nice. But yeah, for now, it's just going to live like there. I think that's quite nice. So yeah, that's that done. Does it affect the particle effects as well? Not really. That makes everything darker. Yeah, it doesn't really affect that particle effect. But yeah, that's the outside I'm going for. Fairly low poly. And the materials, the texture inside, because I've already got it all kind of set up. The base colour, the base like paintwork isn't that bad to implement. It's like any detail really that I want to add. Like I did for this with like the cracked. And I might go back and make like this bit like specular. So like this and this and this can maybe I'll just make it so it reflects a little bit. I've got to re-watch the tutorial for that. It's been quite a while since I made this shader, so I've got to refresh my mind. But yeah, now that's done. Saved it. No. Okay, cool. Save all. But yeah, I just think because if I get that, I think the shadows just look a lot nicer than if this is the default. Kind of like the bounciness of them as well. Gives it a very nice effect. So, on to actual game development now, rather than modelling and making a drop pod that it literally serves no purpose for me other than the background detail. But hey, it was a fun challenge and definitely learned something new whilst doing it. Like how to use Blender more, because again, I'm not very far along with knowing Blender. I can close this now. I'll save. Close that. There we go. So where did we get up to last time in terms of actually adding perks? We got up to... We haven't got bullet split working just yet. I know I haven't got that working. But I don't really want to do something that's going to be a pain. And I said last time I was going to add in a bit of a bomb drop. So at the moment we've already got AoE bullets that do area effect. Now I want to do a explosive. And one thing I've got to do as well, because at the moment knockback, not knockback, but it's the slide where it goes into them and does AoE damage and blasts them away. I need to change that. Ooh. Sorry, it's still early in the morning. I need to change that because the way it works at the moment is it's currently only it explodes them. It knocks them back if it does AoE damage, but I don't want all AoE damage to knock enemies back, because if you do it on like a bullet, because the explosive bullets I don't want to knock back, because that would be very powerful if it just knocked enemies around all the time. Reload burst, I'd say that can deal explosive damage, just a bit of like a push him away whilst you reload. I think that's fine. But it's the God, it's so bright out my window. I'm not used to having my curtains open. I pretty much always. What's that on there? That's a screw. I pretty much always have them like closed, especially when I'm doing. I know it's not great, but especially in the morning, because my window faces the sun. Great for waking up. Terrible for trying to use a computer. Because it just gets on the screen. It's massive glare. It's just... Mind you, it looks quite nice. It's not actually as bad as I thought it would be. Yeah, I'm just hoping all that caulking dries before tonight so I can put my curtains back up. But yeah, so we're going to add in a new perk. I'll fix the issues with the explosives whilst doing this, because it's going to be an explosive one. And this will be bomb drop. And on hit, bomb drop. And I've also realised I've put capital D, so I'm going to have to go like that. And then I can go bomb. No, bomb underscore drop. If I could spell to save my life. Boom. So we've got bomb underscore drop. I'm going to mute my desktop, just realised. Mind you, it's not like it matters anyway. I haven't got any music or anything. But how else will you hear this amazing noise? Ow, that's loud. God, that's so loud. Turns out my PC volume was a lot louder than I thought it was. So yeah, we want bomb drop. Description is going to be... what should we call it? So it's going to be on hit. Chance to spawn a bomb on hit. And we're just gonna have temp for this. There we are. Where is it? There it is. Chance to spawn bomb on hit. We'll go. We'll go 10%. And we'll get it up to 50. So we 5 pitiers of this. To spawn a bomb on hit. Save that. So first things first, I need to actually make the bomb. And this is going to actually be like a little grenade kind of thing. So blueprints. Now the difference between this and AoE shot is every round, every shot, and the bomb is once when it feels like it. But the main thing that's going to separate them is the bomb is actually going to deal way more damage. Because it's actually going to deal more damage than your weapon does. I'll probably say it will deal. It'll go double. We'll make it do double damage. Or maybe one. We'll do 1.5. It will do slightly more damage. Maybe double. Again, I've got to balance this later. But we're gonna damage. We're gonna make a new thing in the first person. Game objects, I guess. And it'll be a new blueprint class. It'll be an actor, and it'll be called a bomb. And by typing that alone, I am now on the list. No. For the mesh, for now, it's just going to be a sphere. And it's going to have... I don't even actually know if it needs a hitbox per se. So it's going to simulate physics. So if I put that in the world right now, what's it like? If I just simulate. Kind of want it to be a bit heavier. And also way smaller. So we're going to make this ever so slightly smaller. Not smaller. Ever so slightly heavier. So put this to like 500. See what that's like. Yeah, I reckon 500 will work. What's this? Oh, that's fine, yes, because I'm not actually alive. Yeah, but when you got stuff like the HUD, it will like give you a bunch of errors if the player doesn't exist. Because like that, it kind of relies on the player existing to do the HUD, and if the player doesn't exist, it will still try to do the HUD. It just won't know what to do. Let's go bomb drop. So basically, when this begins plays, I want to very slightly launch it. Impulse. Is it launch? I think you can only do launch on character, so impulse. I'm going to add an impulse. And it's basically just gonna go. Let's just go 100. Let's see what that's like. That didn't work. So add an impulse, 100, and velocity change. That's probably why. Okay, let's add an impulse of 1,000. See if that wants to play nice. Okay, so it is adding the impulse. It just needs to be a bit higher. So we go impulse of like 500. See if that. Okay, and the idea behind that is because basically what I want to do is it's going to spawn on the enemy like here and go wee and bounce and then explode. And that's kind of what I want it to do. So in terms of collision, I don't actually want it to collide with anything but the world. So I'm going to go sphere. Now I know it's got a physics actor, but we want a custom one for this. And we want collision enabled, query and physics. Object type is a physics body. It's going to ignore everything except world static and world dynamic. I guess anything else that's a physics body as well. That should be fine. So if I put it inside the player enemy. Great. It's going to be one of those, isn't it, where it just doesn't want to behave. Yep. So even though it's set to... It's set to overlap. That's why. Put that there. Whee! Bonk. Now it'll land on the floor. And it shouldn't have a problem with being on top of an enemy. Nope, yep, because it can't collide with them. Perfect, that's what we want. I just realised they are nowhere near the ground. Well, it's only a temporary thing anyway. They're going to be floating, actually, in the final game. And again, they're not going to look like that. They're going to look a lot better. So yeah, we got that. We got a bomb. Ooh, nice. And what we want this to do is we want to begin play. It's going to add an impulse. Just going to have like a delay. Of like 2 seconds. And then we're going to destroy self for now. And just see what this is like. I think that would be perfect. So it'll go wee, bonk, bonk, bam. Maybe 1.5. Let's try that. Dunk, dunk. You can tweak the bounciness with fizz material. Where's fizz material? Where even is that? Thanks for the thanks for that. First insane doggo. Where is the fizz material? Down here? Events. I mean, I'm actually kind of I'm happy with the bounciness of it. I actually kind of only want it to bounce a little bit, because what it's going to be property of a regular material. Oh, I haven't actually set up the material. This is just a basic material at the moment, so is it like on here somewhere? Ah, yeah, here. Oh, so you can like make a material that will affect the bounciness of certain parts, can you? That's pretty cool, that is. So we just go default. So if we go rubber, it will be more bouncy then, yeah? So okay. But yeah, what I'm trying to do with this is I just kind of want it to bounce a little bit, and then it will explode. So it'll go like that, and then probably explode around pretty much perfect width like that, really. Just a very small bounce, and then it's gonna spawn. It's gonna launch up off an enemy, and it's gonna bounce and explode. That's the idea of it. But yeah, thanks for showing me that. I had no idea fizz materials were a thing. So we've got basic shape, basic. Don't need base hood. Don't even know what to say. Oh, it's because I had an error on it. Save that. Oh wait, I've just saved that as a. That's fine. Physics aren't enabled for like most things. That surely won't bite me in the ass later. Usually create your own fizz material. There are just They are just a 2 to 3 prop modifier, and it's pretty intuitive. So can I just, if I find this, so if I go, hang on, is it like content? Is it like just create new material, fizz material somewhere? Just go search it. Fizz. Ah, there we are. And select. Oh, I see. Yeah, so it's literally just friction, bounciness, and the density of it. Okay, yeah, that's actually not bad. If I do more stuff with physics, because again, this bomb the bomb I'm making is very simple, but if I do more stuff with physics, I'll keep that in mind. Thank you. That's helped a lot, actually. I didn't actually have any. I had no idea any of that was a thing. There's still so much of Unreal I don't know. But for that, I think that's perfect. So we're gonna go events. So what we want it to do is we want it to, when the delay is done, dismiss all the errors for now. It's fine. Sphere collision. No, not sphere collision. Sphere. Completely forgot the thing I'm trying to add. This happens quite a lot. First person blueprints. Player character. That's a weapon component. Just gonna have a quick look at this. Radial damage. Yeah, that's the one. Radial damage. Apply radial damage, and we're just gonna go. I've got to make a reference to the. Yeah, I've just remembered I've got to make a reference to the player because I want to feed in their damage. Alright, we'll do that first. Cast to first person. I know casting isn't the best thing to do, but it's kind of the only way to get the reference here. Get player character. I know the only other way I can do this is I feed. You can use sphere trace to find targets. I can. But what I'm doing here is this is going to spawn nowhere near the player, and it's going to deal this radial damage to anything nearby. The only problem is that in order, I want to get the character to feed through the damage information they've got. So, status component. Nope, not add status component. He's already got one. Get status component. Then we've got damage. Get base damage. Gonna multiply that by 1.5. I want to do slightly more damage than the base thing. If Unreal would stop lagging for me, that would be great. Base damage to that. We're going to put the radius to... I think 300 would be good. Not 3,000, 300. Player damage. Ignore actors. I'll keep do full damage off. I need the origin. But that's simple enough. I think I could just get actor location. Pop that in. Ignore actors. Damage causer is also the player. Jesus, Unreal's lagging real bad. I don't know why it does this, because it doesn't always, and then it just sometimes will just lag horribly. Feed through the controller. Damage prevention channel. Damage will not be applied to victim if there's something between visibility and player damage. I think that's what I do here. Yep. Damage radius 100. I think that's 100 for that, but I think 300 for this will be good. Just go draw debug spheres. Maybe lack of RAM? Maybe. I've got like 32 gigs there, that's the thing. Like, it's my PC's like not weak by any means. It's just Unreal hates it. I can run everything else fine. I think it's like it also like it will turn off like my left monitor sometimes. I don't know if that's because my other monitor is using display stream compression because it's like a 4K one. But that's not what I'm like using on Unreal. I'm using my 1080p one. SSD? It could be actually. I think it is on an SSD actually. Yeah, I think it's on my I think it's on my SSD. Yeah. If we go task manager. Yeah, it's like at the moment it's only using like 4 gigs of RAM and 7% CPU. I've still got like 60% of my RAM left, so I don't know what's going on with it. I need to look into it at one point. I haven't got around to it. It'll probably just be like there's like one setting in the options that is like doesn't agree with my PC. It will probably like a rendering thing or something. I don't know. Radial. No, debug sphere is what I want. Debug sphere. Just got to plug in that. Set the radius to 300 as well. And duration will go for like 2. So what that should happen now is it will do this. Or it won't explode at all. Oh, because I haven't told it to destroy itself. I should have drew the radial sphere though. And then destroy. Destroy self. Go select a viewport so it should bounce. Hey, there we go. Oh, right, yeah, I know why that failed. It's because it tried to cast to the player, but the player didn't exist. Right, okay. That's why. Oop. So it bounces, explodes. That will knock them back. I'm fine with that knocking them back. I might want to make that a bit less. The impulse on that is pretty high. And depending on if they're close or far from it, will do less damage. Cool. Like that. That's good. That's fine. Put that there. I'm going to keep the debug sphere for now. Just got to remember to get rid of it later, just so I can see the radius of it a bit better. But I'm also going to add a particle effect. Spawn emitter at location. I think it's this one. This is Cascade rather than Niagara, but it will work for what we're doing. I'll change it to Niagara later. Rotation could be fine, scale should be fine, auto destroy, auto activates. And that should. Maybe if I'm not like 50 miles away. Kaboom. Yeah, that's fine. I'm gonna add in audio and all that stuff later. This is I'm building it up first before adding in the visuals. Otherwise, it will never get made. That being said, I did just spend the last 2 hours, maybe. Yeah, 2 hours, like, finishing this off. But because someone asked about if I could do a drop pod, and I was like, yeah, sure, I can do a drop pod. So we got the bomb drop. So we got the bomb. Now we need to actually make it spawn in. So for that, where should we do that? Well, first we got to make the perk activate. So we got to update perks. If you're wondering, Insane Doggo, I'm making a what's the word? I'm making a first-person arena, a first-person wave-based shooter with roguelike elements, basically. So after every wave, you get to pick a perk, and there's also a object. At the moment, it's just a cube, but later on, it'll be like a nice-looking totem thing, where you can go and get a random perk as well. And every round, you get more perks. Just so like you're kind of caught up on what's being made here. It's going to be a bit similar to like COD Zombies in a way. And hopefully at one point I can make it multiplayer. I tried doing multiplayer, but I had so many issues with it. It's unbelievable. It is a mess to get working. Quake. I haven't got the movement of Quake in. I could always make like some things that will increase the movement and stuff. I might make like a versus multiplayer, but at the moment the multiplayer was going to be like co-op, kind of horde based, but I could not get that working to save my life. I spent like a whole week at one point just trying to get the multiplayer working, but anytime the enemy wasn't... Anytime an enemy spawned in and the host player didn't see that enemy at least once, it couldn't... The other player couldn't damage it, and the enemy couldn't damage the player. It was really... And I couldn't figure out... I tried spawning it various different ways, telling the server to spawn it, telling the player to spawn it. Everything didn't work. So I'm going to retry going back to it at one point. It might be because of the way I did damage. I don't know. I'm doing the damage with the unofficial, like... the way I'm handling damage is I am using the built-in damage system. So I don't know, and apparently that does work with servers, so I don't know why it's not. But hey, I'll sort that at one point, hopefully. Update. So we want this to be bomb drop. And bomb underscore drop. Gotta spell this right. I guess it's net for it. Yeah, I did. Yeah, that's the thing. I did like tell it to spawn at the server, and it did, but it didn't. I don't really. Maybe it's because the object it was spawning from didn't have the authority. I don't know. I'll gotta read more into it at one point, but that's gonna be if I'm implementing that, it'll be near the end. Multiplayer requires a lot of stuff. Yeah, it's a lot harder. It is so much harder than getting a single player thing to work. It's why my first focus on this, because I've been on this, developing this for like on and off around about a year now, just because I haven't had much time to actually sit down and develop it. So I want to get a map working in single player and then go from there. Like the whole thing, I want one map, whole experience done, visuals, audio, all that sorted, and then looking into maybe making more maps on multiplayer rather than just making it trying to make it multiplayer and then having a bunch of issues, because that's what I tried doing it, but it didn't work. Is this even a perk I need to actually make an update for? Thinking about it, I can just proc it in the player effect. So go content damage, player damage, trigger player effect. If I just duplicate electric shot. Just call this bomb drop. Plug that in. Get that. Get rid of that. Don't need that. Player ref skill says component. Don't need that either. Get rid of this. Get rid of. Oh no, yeah, I remember how. Yeah, I was about to say something that I'm about to do wouldn't work, but I remember how I worked around it before. So 10, 20, 30, 40, and 50. So this is basically the damage effects that will happen based on perks. Because there are some perks that will hit chance every time you make I've got to remove these individually. Yep. There's some perks that will have a chance to go off every time you shoot, or every time you deal player damage. And for those perks, it's chance success. If it's true, they're gonna make a thing on the stats component now. What it will do is it will allow anytime you do player damage, it will go through this kind of thing here, and it will see like if you have vampire damage, will you heal? If you have fire chance, will they get set on fire? Will they get stunned? Will they get slowed? Will they get electrocuted and zapped between enemies? Will a toxic cloud spawn, or will a bomb drop? And there's a bunch of other perks that affect stats as well. But these are kind of the more fun perks because they kind of go through every time. And yeah, just kind of like, have you got the perk? If so, it will give it a chance roll. And if you do it, it will spawn in a thing. And it's kind of like the base gist of like most of this. And what's kind of good is that I don't actually need to cast much, because when you feed in the damage to an enemy, they already have a reference to the person who caused the damage if you fed it through. And then I can feed that into this custom damage function, and then that gets sent to the enemy's like health component, the stats component, and then the effects can happen. That's probably something that if I get around to making multiplayer, won't work anywhere near as well as it should as well. Player character stats component. It's going to basically just be another custom event here. The reason I'm doing despawning this in the custom event is because I actually can't spawn it from within the damage component. So spawn bomb. It just doesn't give me the option to spawn an actor from inside here at all, because it's like an interface, I think. Whereas this, it does allow me to, because this is a component of a character on the character, and because it's on the enemy already, I can just do this. Do that, change that to bomb. Should all be good. Compile, save, player damage. Now we just want to change this to bomb underscore drop. Go over here. Change that to 50. Get branch. Nope, my headset's turned off. And do... So yeah, what we do is get the enemy stats component and... So enemy stats component. Spawn bomb. If it's true, plug it in there. And if it's not, it just goes right past it. Bomb, bomb. Plug that in there. Plug that in there. That in there. This is always the least fun part of Unreal, is just plugging in a bunch of nodes. There we go. And that should be done. True goes to all those. Yep. Compile, save. And now we just need to make it so that when we... So that's already going to be added, because it's in this data table. This is now already in the random perk pool. You can just unlock it. And because it gets queried when I shoot, I don't actually need to set anything to unlock it. The only thing I'm going to do is, in here, set bomb drop. So we can just test it by pressing L. So what should happen now is I press L. 5 times, I'll give myself 50% chance to spawn it. Eventually. Am I just getting really unlucky? Have I misspelt something? Probably misspelt something. Trigger player effect goes through all of these. Bomb drop is right there. It'll spawn the bomb on the enemy. I'm just going to put a... player damage for now. I'm just going to put a branch here, just to make sure it's actually... I can just put something here. Hang on, print. Just get print bomb. And set that to like red. Compile, save. No, because that's just going to run through every time. I need to put it so if it's on success. Query perk bomb drop. Get branch. Get. There we go. Got 2 now. Get a branch on success. If it's true, it's going to say it. If it's not, it's just going to go. Compile, save. Did I compile the stats component? Yes. Get that. Yeah, so it is reading the perk. It's probably just I'm getting a really crap chance. Because it is like a 1 in 50. It should be printing that number. But it's not. Why is it not printing that number? Purple. Make sure it's obvious. Is it even running the chance? Have I plugged that in correctly? Because that is set up right. Chance percentage goes in. How many tiers have I given it, actually? That's why. Okay, that is why. I'm done. So I gave it 6 tiers because the last perk I was testing had 6 tiers. There we go. And every time it drops, there's a chance it will spawn another one. So, because it's a 50% chance to spawn a bomb. And because it got again, and again, and again. I might need to make it so the bombs can't spawn in another bomb, because that's pretty powerful at 50. It kind of just constantly spawns bombs. Mind you, this is when the enemy's standing still. If we go over here, where there's going to be moving enemies, and give myself the max perk. Yeah, so most of the time it's not even going to hit the enemy unless they're like slow or standing still. So I might actually need to lower the fuse on that because it's quite long. But in a massive group of enemies, you're going to shoot the front enemy. It's going to hit all the enemies behind it, basically. That's the idea. But yeah, I might need to make that go off a little bit quicker. But it's in. So for now, I'd say it's fine. I'm just going to add in here, all the way up here, another thing. I want perk 26 now. Hooray! Bomb underscore drop. And because we don't actually need this, but it's just nice to have it here so everything's kind of all... Just get print. Bomb drop. But yeah, this is just so... Just have a nice compartmentalized... Hey, if this happens, nothing's going to happen, but I can test, like, I can see a print string in the development come up. But yeah. So that's all, stat perks sorted. So far we've got double jump pace, buff bullets, health increase, accuracy increase, reload increase, bullet storm, bullet burst, vampire heal bullets, fire shot, dodge chance, reload burst, a stun chance, regeneration rate, slide explode, knockback. I'm going to add a new perk in, and what this one's going to do is going to weaken enemies. And what I want that to do is their attack will be lower, and they will take more damage. What should we call that? I'm thinking... What would be a good name for weak bullets? Don't want to just call it weak bullets, because that sounds bad. Plague shot? Nah. Don't really want to call it debilitating anything. Armor break? Stat drop bullet? Nah. Well, I can change the display name of it at any time. So the row name's like... The row name's what the game sees. But the display name is what can be whatever. So... I can always change it later without it being too much of a hassle. I'm going to call it... Weakness shot for now. Just because I can't think of anything else to call it. Off the top of my head, is weakness. I don't even think I spelt weakness right. Weakness underscore shot. There we go. So we're going to have weakness shot, and this is going to be chance to lower enemy health and enemy defenses and attack. It's going to be a 10% chance, I'd say. So 10% chance to lower enemy weakness and health. There's percentage, there is. for a set duration. For a short time. We'll go for like 3 seconds. Because if you reactivate it by hitting them again, potentially, so. Temp. Just get the question mark. Good old temp texture. It's going to be 5 tiers of this. 5 tiers of the kingdom there. And what that's going to be a case... should be fairly simple to implement. It'll be another one in the damage interface. Nope, wrong one. Player damage. And could just duplicate bomb drop, really. So shoot that over there. Control C, Control V. Get bomb drop. Change that to weakness shot. There we go. Plug that in there. Plug that in there. Weakness underscore shot. Don't need that string. Plug that into there. Then we just come down here. That's already set up fine. And rather than spawn bomb, we're going to go into the status component and make a new thing that's basically going to be on a timer. So content, status, first person, blueprint, status component. Where is it? Skill system. Nope. I always do this. I compartmentalize it and then I completely forget where it is. So we're gonna add in a custom event. This is gonna be called weakness stat. And we're gonna have weakness another custom event for weakness end. Weakness end. And all this event needs to do is we're going to make a new boolean in here called weakened. I think that's how you spell. Yeah, that's how you spell weakened, I think. I don't know how to spell. And we just get set out to true. Set weakened to true. When it starts, we're gonna set weakened to true. Come down to where it's then we're gonna go into damage taken. I want to split this. I want to add after is dead. Before after is dead, after we give the points, do another branch. Are they weakened? Move that up there. Actually, I don't even need to do that. I could just do float selector. Select float. So if they're not weakened, it will be B, which is just straight up the damage output. And if they are weakened, it will be the damage output times 2. So weakened. We'll put that in there. And we'll put that in there. So yeah, when it's not... So if this is true, it will pick A, which is the weak damage times 2. If they're not weakened, it will just pick the regular old damage. And that should also work for fire damage as well, because fire damage goes into damage taken, which comes down here. So no matter where the damage comes from, this should work fine. Now, the only other thing we need to do is get their base damage. And where's the weakened command gone? It's all up here, I think. Nope. There it is. So we get that. We need to lower their damage output as well. So for that, we need to change this variable here. Currently it's called base damage. I might change that so rather than base damage, it's just called damage. Make another float called base damage. Float. Get base damage. Now get damage. We just get half this, so get damage. Someone's mowing their lawn again. Jesus Christ. It's not even that great weather for it. Actually, maybe it is. I can't tell. It's kind of just cloudy. Divide by 2. Just get double. So if it's just double checking. Yes, okay, I can do basic maths. Yep, I'm not an idiot, trust me. Put that in there, plug that in there, damage, put that. So that'll set, and then once weakness ends, we just want to reset it to the base damage. So get base damage, and set damage. Set weakened to false. Set base damage to set damage to base damage. Now, currently, if I was to when they spawn in, base damage. So the current damage is currently the one that you can edit. I need base damage to be the one that's edited. And then what I'm going to do is on initialize, I'm going to set damage to base damage. So here, yes. So I set max health, set the current health. So once it sets the character ref, I'm just gonna get base damage, get base damage, and set damage to base damage. And there we go. Because this event runs whenever the component, anything with this component spawns in. It's kind of what sets it up, so... I think that includes the first-person character. So yeah, event begin play. Literally the first thing it I just realised I've had my mic muted. I have absolutely no idea how long that's been muted for. Whoops. I'm an idiot. When the hell did I mute that? I've been like explaining and saying things this entire time. I'm gonna have to check the VOD for when that got muted. Because I actually have no idea how long that's been muted for. I mean I guess it can't be too long ago since God, when did I actually mute? Oh God. That's the first time I've done that. Early streamer mistakes, okay? God, it's this damn Blue Yeti. I hate this mic. I'm starting to hate it so much. So yeah, I have no idea how long I've been muted for. I'm gonna check the VOD after later on and just see if it's probably like been. Oh God, it's gotta be like 20, 30 minutes. All right. Well, since I was muted, I'm just gonna very quickly re-explain what I've just done. I'm hoping it's just this weakness shot that I got muted for. So basically, it's going to be a case of the enemy will hit the player. No wait, player hits the enemy, has a chance to go. If it goes, it will do this event here where it weakens them, which over here will oh, I nearly cocked up. That's got to be plugged into there. So it will check if they're dead. It will give them points. And depending on if they're weakened or not, it will either do normal damage or do double damage. If they do double damage, come over here. Nope, over here. There's a lot of stuff on this page now. Weakness start. Sets the weakness. Divides it by 2. Divides their base damage by 2, so they're weaker in attack as well. And it'll do a time by 3. If this event runs again, it's gonna skip this part and just reset the timer. When this timer goes down, it will set them to not be weak and set their damage. And yeah, that's what I've been doing whilst I've been on mute. Apparently, I didn't even know I was on mute. When did I hit that button? Oh, it's gonna annoy me now. Anyone who was in the stream is probably say like, oh, why is he just not talking? And that's why. Because I hit the massive mute button on the mic literally right in front of me, and I somehow didn't notice that it's been flashing the entire time. That sucks so bad. Oh well, live and learn. Right, we're going to come up here. We're just going to set this to weakness shots. Compile that, save that. Give myself max. So that's... So yeah, by default I do 5 damage. And when they've been weakened, I'll do 10. So you could do 5 if we get max weakness, so I get 50% chance. Now he's weakened, I'm doing 10 damage. And if I go for the headshot, now I do 20 instead of 10. And if I come down here to enemies that can actually hit me, go to him. So he does 5 damage at the moment. If I manage to weaken him. Okay, I think these enemies can actually hurt me if I go right up to their face. Yeah, they can. So he does 5 damage if I weaken him. He now only does half of that. So he does 2.5. And there we go. Another Perkin. And with that, it's actually time to end the stream. It's 11:30 on the dot. That worked out really well. Yeah, that perk completely works. The last thing I am going to do is once again go to the update perks. Wherever the hell that is. Here, update perks. F2. Not F2. Weakness underscore shot. Wait for that to reappear. There we go. Come all the way down here and do a print. And just say weakness shot. So now I want to buy it. Yep, weakness shot. Cool. That works. That's fine. Perfect. Get rid of this one because it keeps causing all those fooling things up here. And that's it. That's the end of this stream. I'm really, really sorry about the fact I was on mute for probably about 20-30 minutes. Again, not sure. I'm going to check the VOD in a little bit later on the afternoon and probably go, oh, God, I've been mute this entire time. But yeah, that's the end of the stream. I will see you guys next weekend, where now that we've done this drop pod, it'll be right on the game development, where we'll probably actually finish up getting all the perks in and functional and working, and then we'll move on to something else. Probably the map design, which I don't like. I'm not very good at map design. So, yeah. Well, I mean, I haven't given it much of a crack. I've got to learn more about it. So that'll be what we do next week. So, yeah. I'll see you guys next week. Goodbye.